This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's number one show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a little while, but I'm back in the building, and now that September is here, it's gonna be full force, on and going full force. You know what I mean? And I mean that in, a regular kind of way. All right, just an old regular way, nothing crazy. But yeah, I got my man Tony in the building. We're gonna talk about Team USA having their toughest game of FIBA basketball so far. And then, we'll talk about anything we has to do with the New York Knicks. Tony, what's poppin' with you, brother? How you feeling?
What's good, Sim? Shout out to the chat. Yo, Black is time. Doing good, man. Like you said, tough game tonight.
Yeah.
Pulled it away.
Yeah.
And it's only gonna get tougher.
Yeah, that was definitely the toughest one of that we've seen so far. That was the toughest one. You know what I mean? I mean, they were down at half and had to figure out a way, to finally take a lead, a nice lead sometime in the fourth quarter. But that was definitely the toughest game that they've seen so far. You know what I mean? Josh Hart started his second game. Jalen Brunson didn't really have too good of a game. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, he didn't even finish. He didn't even finish the game. Right? He didn't finish the game. Tyrese Halliburton finished the game. But either way, Team USA defeated Montenegro 85-73. Their first game in Group J. All right. What's your thoughts, Tony?
Well, number one, glad they got the win. That's first and foremost. That was the interesting thing to me as well. Brunson didn't even play down the stretch. Kudos to Halliburton. I think he did his thing. It probably had a lot to do with size more than anything else. Defensive or rebounds in general was a concern coming into this game and the next game as well, because we don't have much size. But we squeaked it away. I got to watch the condensed highlights. I didn't really see the entire game, but it was a tough one.
I mean, to be honest with you, Jalen Brunson didn't really deserve to play down the stretch of the game. I didn't watch the game at 4:40. As a matter of fact, me and you got off the phone at like 3:30. We probably could have stayed up and watched the game, you know what I mean? But after we got off the phone, talking business, I went ahead and knocked out for the night, you know what I mean? Or for the morning, whatever it was. Got up this morning, watched the game. I was gonna go on this morning, but then I had some things that I had to do, so I was like, yeah, we just go on later on tonight. But Jalen Brunson didn't really deserve to play down the stretch. They played some tough defense on him. He was off for most of the night, or it was nighttime over there. You know what I mean? So Steve Kerr made the right call by letting Tyrese Halliburton play down the stretch. I don't think it's not going to reflect anything on Jalen Brunson. He'll still start the next game. You know what I mean? I'm assuming he's going to start the next game. 85 points. I think that's probably the lowest scoring output that Team USA has had. You know what I mean? It's getting interesting. I mean, I still think Team USA is going to win it. You know what I mean? You're going to have games like this. Sometimes matchups just mean everything. You know what I mean? And the matchup makes it tough for you. But I still think Team USA wins it, even though it was a tough one today. I do want to ask you this about Josh Hart. Josh Hart today, 4 points, 2 rebounds, right? So it's not like he played a super duper game, but he does what Josh Hart does. So, you can't really get mad at his box score. Because I don't, as far as I'm concerned, I don't expect Josh Hart to, do anything crazy. Does what he does. Rebound the ball a little bit. Grab a couple of rebounds, play crazy defense, maybe get a couple of steals, cause a few issues out there. But he's starting over Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram is a little disgruntled with Team USA right now. I don't know if he's disgruntled with Team USA, but he did make the comments that, he said, I don't want to say anything because we're winning, but he's not happy, right? So Josh Hart is playing probably because Brandon Ingram isn't playing well, and they want Josh Hart's defensive intensity out there and all of those things. But seeing Josh Hart start for Team USA, do you think Tom Thibodeau looks at it and says, maybe he needs to start for us?
No, at least not like coming into the season. What I'll say is he knows he has a plug and play guy. He has a guy that could, if he has to shake things up, Hart will definitely get a look. You know what I mean? Like, and he's capable of it. But I think in intangible wise, he may be more. I mean, it depends on how it looks coming into training camp. What Thibodeau sees, I'm sure he'll experiment with it because he tends to do that every year anyway. But I don't think it's gonna be based off of like this
Team USA
performance,
right?
You know what I mean,
right?
And then Brandon Ingram, it's his role, right? So Josh Hart, you could put in the starting lineup, off the bench, wherever it is, plug and play. He's gonna do what he does, whether he's starting, whether he's off the bench. You know what I mean? Wherever role he's in, his role doesn't change. Brandon Ingram, on the other hand, he has to modify his game in that starting lineup.
Right.
You know what I mean? So his role is an adjustment. Coming in that second unit, he's probably closer to his normal role. You know what I mean? So I think that's a big, you know what I mean? That's where Josh Hart is valuable in the sense that, all right, he may not be a go-to, a star, whatever, but you can plug him in replace of a star. You can plug him in replace of a 2, a 3. Oh, you know what I mean? Like he's plug and play any other 4 on the court.
Yeah. And I had kind of thought to myself that they had too many guys who needed the ball in their hands to be effective in that starting unit, because you had Jalen Brunson. Not that he needs the ball to be effective, but he's a primary ball handler. Anthony Edwards and Brandon Ingram. You know what I'm saying? Now, Mikal Bridges, he's not a guy that really needs to have the ball to create, but sometimes he can go either way. You know what I mean? But I think it does fit better with Josh Hart being in that lineup because he doesn't need the ball in his hands. And you got 3 guys that can score the basketball. Although tonight they did have their scoring lower scoring output, but that's not the reason why.
And both Brunson and Mikal are accustomed to not being the number 1 guy. Right. It's new to both of them coming into last year, half a year for Mikal, you know what I mean, when he got to Brooklyn. So it's not a difference for them to take a step back or have someone else be the main guy. You know what I mean? So Ingram, a little bit different.
Yeah, definitely a little bit different with Ingram. And let me ask you this, because Ingram is a guy we've all talked about. I've talked about him a lot as a guy that could fit really, really nice with the Knicks. Looking at the issues he's having with Team USA now, does that scare you if it were to come to, all right, He's available. Does that scare you at all?
If I did not see this, I wouldn't have thought anything different. And people have said that in the past. Oh, him and Randle aren't gonna fit. You know what I mean? They both need the ball, such and such and such. And I kind of didn't agree with it. But coming off of this and hearing this, 100%, because this is not the typical Team USA where it's all the big names, right?
Right.
And he's still, you know what I mean? Like, so I understand where he's coming from. Arguably, if he was going to replace somebody for a fit reason, it would be Edwards, because like he would want to be the lead guy. And I'm not saying he's better than Edwards or he should. I'm saying for the chemistry wise, for it to fit seamlessly, he would have to take that role. But you're not replacing Edwards.
You're saying Brandon Ingram would have to place that? What do you mean?
On Team USA, for him to fit in the starting lineup,
right? Okay.
Edwards would have to come out for it. You know what I mean?
Right.
As opposed to Hart or anybody else who could, Macau, you know what I mean? Like these guys can fit because they could take a step back. He's not really willing to do that. And it's funny, the early quote in FIBA with Anthony Edwards, he was like, "Oh, we thinking about having you come off the bench." That probably was in place of Brandon Ingram. You know, I'm being speculatory, but his response was, you know what I mean? They was like, "Oh, Kobe, D Wade came off the bench for Kobe," and he was like, "Well, there's no Kobe here." you know what I mean? So it's like that mindset of, I think Brandon Ingram has that same type of mindset. So I mean, it's just he didn't have the funny quote behind it. You know what I mean? And you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. I see what you're saying. Does it scare me as far as him if he were available coming to the Knicks? It does a little bit. It does. It definitely does, because not that the Knicks would have as many. Well, if he came and R.J. Barrett was here, then they would kind of have the same issue on the Knicks, because Jalen Brunson, R.J. Barrett, Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, you'd have the same exact issue. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he came in place of either one of those two guys, R.J. Barrett or Julius Randle, you might not have that same issue, because it seems that he's done it with C.J. McCollum, and, well, Zion hasn't really played much. You know what I'm saying? But it seems like he's been able to do it with those guys.
I mean, McCollum is in that similar vein. He's not coming in there to be the number one guy. You know what I mean? He came from Portland, running right next to Dame Lillard, and sometimes being equal to him. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like parallel to him, but it wasn't like a power fight,
right.
power struggle. So he could play next to a guy like McCollum, because he's gonna get in where he fits in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
agree.
He's gonna have good games, you know what I mean? But he's not gonna dominate the ball. You know what I mean? He could play off ball. And again, with the Knicks, I think the issue would be with Randle more so than with Brunson.
Yeah. I agree. I think
I liked it in theory before. I ain't gonna front, but now it's kind of scary now.
Yeah, kind of scary. You look at it and say, yeah, there might be some chemistry issues, and then of course there's the whole work ethic thing. You know what I mean? The whole thing with the work ethic that probably make people say, now you got him complaining about this, the work ethic thing. Probably a guy you want to stay away from. And I'm pretty sure if he's somebody that the Knicks were considering at some point in time, this experience right here, probably makes him think differently of Brandon Ingram. I'm sure it's making me think differently.
And coaches talk, you know what I mean? I'm sure there's an open line of communication between Tibbs and Kerr. Or Tibbs and Spo.
Listen.
So it's documented.
The Knicks got two guys playing, right? Two guys playing. So I'm pretty sure there's some conversation going on somewhere along the way. Hey, don't play him too much because I need him to be healthy. You know what I mean?
Only I can play him 30.
Exactly. Only I can play him 48 minutes. You can't do that. You can't do that. Ladies and gentlemen, before I get to this phone call, I know you've seen the video for the home opener, right? Well, guess what? I missed my mark to be able to get those home opener tickets. I got on the horn on Tuesday to secure those tickets, and not that I missed the mark, but there weren't enough tickets left for our group. Let's put it like that, because we're gonna have like 50 people. So we had to change course a little bit. So now you can purchase tickets to the Knicks versus the Cavs on November the 1st. All right, it's $155 per ticket. Okay, $155 per ticket. Section 223, Section 224, Section 225, mid-court. So, they're really nice tickets for a really good price. And, of course, we'll be doing pre- and post-game live shows, and we'll have some, either get the chance to go on the court and shoot free throws or take a picture or, whatever other perk we're able to get. So those tickets are available right now for $155. Get them really, really quick because by the end of this month, the price is going to go up $20. All right, so make sure you get those tickets now because you're probably not going to get them for that price later on. All right, so the link, I just pinned it to the top of the chat. It's also in the description of the video. Get those tickets now before they go, and we'll be having a couple of phone calls with people who purchased tickets, and we've already had some people purchase tickets. People who put down deposits for the home opener decided, cool, we'll just go to the Cavs game. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Brunson versus Donovan Mitchell. There you go. So make sure you get those tickets now, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get your phone call. Caller, you live. Name me where you're from. Lauren from Cali.
What's going on?
What's up?
Of course, it's Lauren again. How y'all doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. All right. So I got a question.
Uh-huh.
So we know this Team USA is coached by Steve Kerr,
Right.
Eric Spoelstra, Ty Lue.
Right.
Basically, maybe the top 3 best ball movement coaches in the entire NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right.
I want to ask y'all, how much are y'all reading into the performances of our Knicks in this FIBA World Cup? So Brunson, Hart, RJ Barrett, how much are y'all reading into their performances in this World Cup?
Not that much. Not that much. Because they're not going to play the same game when they're on the Knicks. It's going to be a different game. And you're going to have different responsibilities because you're not playing with as deep of a team or with the same level of talent. You know what I mean? What about you?
Okay, so I'm reading a lot into it. I'm reading. This is what needed to happen from my perspective. This is what needed to happen for the Knicks specifically. We needed to see Jalen Brunson outside of a ball dominant system and see him kind of play off ball a little bit. We needed to see if RJ Barrett can be consistent at anything outside of what's his name, Tom Thibodeau's system. We already know. I mean, it's no surprise that Josh Hart is kind of consistent in any system. He does what he does with the Knicks in FIBA and on any basketball court you put him on the planet Earth. If RJ Barrett was performing like Fournier is performing in these FIBA World Cups, we won't be saying we're not reading into it. Let's be honest. We will be saying RJ has turned a leaf and he's a little bit more consistent.
Actually, I've been saying that I've been saying this ever since it started. That I'm not reading too much into it because Tom Thibodeau is not Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr is not Tom Thibodeau, and you don't have the same player personnel.
So you're saying Tom Thibodeau is not a champion because again,
No. I said
3 champions.
Hold on, wait a minute. I said Tom Thibodeau is not Steve Kerr, and Steve Kerr is not Tom Thibodeau. That's what I said.
Okay, so
that's what I said.
In my words, what I'm hearing from that, looking at the teams that have made the finals, is Tom Thibodeau is not a champion because if, from my perspective, Jalen Brunson has not had a good FIBA World Cup
listen,
or warm-up games.
You know what? Those guys made the finals. Yes, they did. They made the finals. 2 of them made it with LeBron James. Right? 2 of them made it with LeBron James. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
2 of them made it with LeBron James, and 1 of them made it with Steve Kerr. I mean, with Steph Curry.
One of them also made it with Bam Adebayo and 7 undrafted players.
He did.
And Jimmy Butler.
He did.
So like,
he did.
we know what we're looking at.
He didn't win it. He didn't win it. I mean, there could have been other teams.
Us.
He did.
Beat us.
But there could have been other teams that came out of it too. When he won it, he had LeBron James and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. That's when he won it.
Okay.
When Steve Kerr won it. And I'm not saying I'm not taking away from their coaching. What I'm saying is you got to have players too. You got to have players.
I think the reason why I'm bringing this up is because when we look at, I think you guys are having a conversation about Brandon Ingram. The reason why Brandon Ingram is having a hard time in Steve Kerr's system is because he's basically our Julius Randle and RJ Barrett. He has to be ball dominant, ISO, dribbling the ball 1,000 times in order to get his shots off, whatever the case may be. Another thing to keep in mind, there was a conversation that was going on around about like 2 months ago where Andre Iguodala was talking about who's the best player or the highest IQ in the state of New York. And he looked at, what's his name? Bridges. Now, I won't take Bridges over Jalen Brunson overall. However, if we're looking at Andre Iguodala, who was a ball-dominant ISO scorer before he went to, to Golden State to play as an off-ball kind of Sean Marion type of player, and he's looking at what it takes to win championships, I can see why he would look at somebody like Bridges as a higher IQ player than Jalen Brunson. And I'm only bringing this up because we saw what happened last year. We're going into this season with the same coach. We're seeing our players play outside of his system, and we're seeing what they look like outside of his system. You could say it's because
how do they look? How do they look? I mean, Jalen Brunson, huh?
Jalen Brunson doesn't look that good. If we're going to keep it up.
Can I respond though?
But they're playing they're playing a style of basketball that's more like a European style of basketball, right? You're playing 10 minutes. You're playing 10 minutes a quarter. I mean, even Anthony Edwards is averaging just 16 points per game. He's not looking like the Anthony Edwards that you see in the regular NBA season because it's a different style of basketball that they're playing because they have so much talent and so much depth. It's a different style of game.
I disagree because we could have predicted who will look good. And you said something, and I think he wants to speak, but let me say this really quickly. You said they're playing more of a European style of basketball, aka the style of basketball that wins in the current NBA. That's what they're playing right now.
Not always. Not always.
Okay, so now here's the question.
I mean, you still got to have one-on-one play in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the bottom line is the Knicks don't have the players that you're trying to compare Tom Thibodeau to these other coaches. The Knicks don't have the players either.
I believe we do, though.
I don't.
I believe we do.
I don't.
I believe we do.
I don't believe we have those players. You know what I'm saying? Will they get to that? Maybe they will. But for this specific basketball team, Jalen Brunson has to do what he did. If he didn't do what he did, the Knicks would not have been where they were. They wouldn't even have had a chance against Miami if he didn't do what he did.
I'm not arguing against that, though. I'm not arguing against that. But here's my argument, though. The reason why we lost is because Tom Thibodeau did not adjust to what actually wins, even though he has the players that can do that.
You know,
from my perspective.
He also didn't have players. He had one player performing.
And that's his fault. Again,
So it's his fault that Julius Randle. It's his fault that Julius Randle wasn't performing.
But we know why Julius Randle doesn't perform because in the regular season, the things that he's able to do against average defenses, he can't do in the postseason.
So that goes back to that goes back to the players.
That goes back to the scheme of the coach.
No, I disagree because Julius Randle had an All-NBA season,
regular season,
and he had the same amount of touches. He was not making shots. He was terrible. He was terrible.
Okay,
he was terrible.
But
there was nothing he could do. We had no. Hold up. We had open shot after open shot. RJ Barrett had open shots. These guys had open shots. Go look at what they shot from the 3-point line. Wide open shots.
Here's a question.
That they didn't make.
Would you put Dikembe Mutombo at the 3-point line?
No.
Okay, so why is RJ and what do you mean open shots from RJ is not a shooter. And
So who
Julius
else are you
Randle was
putting
dead.
there? Who else are you putting there?
Ray,
Change the
why you
scheme.
gonna compare
Change the
RJ to
scheme.
Mutombo,
Right.
bro?
Who else are you putting
No,
there?
but
That's why I'm
It's
going
not
back
like
and
he
talking
had
about
Mitchell
players,
Robinson.
Lon.
He didn't have
You
Mitchell
changed the
Robinson at the
scheme.
3-point line.
Exactly. Mitchell Robinson wasn't at the 3-point line.
You
Mitchell
changed
Robinson wasn't
the
there.
scheme
You're talking
to
about
fit
the
your
Kembe
players.
Mutombo. Mitchell Robinson wasn't at the 3-point line. He didn't say, well, hey,
Oh.
let's put Mitch there. No, he put
He put
guys
Obi Toppin there.
He put guys
He
there
put
that are
Obi
capable.
Toppin.
There were guys there
He
that were
put guys at
capable.
what?
There were guys there that were capable. You've seen them knock it down in the regular season. Were they up and down? Yes. They shot terribly. So what you're getting
They
at
shot
is that
terribly
Evan
because-
Fournier should have been there, right? That's what you're getting at. That's the one move that he didn't put there. That's what you're getting at.
Not at all. I mean, I'm not even going to put that on Tibbs anymore because he clearly just hates the guy. Change the scheme. It's clearly not working.
So what scheme were you
What-
looking for? These guys are getting open
Bro.
shots and not making them. Open shots
They're
and not
not
making
open
them.
shots for those players, though. That's not
What?
an open shot for RJ because he can't shoot.
Bro, what other players are you making open shots for?
You
These are the guys that's on the
changed
floor.
scheme.
To
You
do
changed
what?
The scheme.
To do what?
Attack the rim with more open space.
Attack the rim
Pick
when
and
Bam
roll.
Adebayo was blocking everything. They
But
couldn't get
Bam
to the
Adebayo
rim.
cannot
Hold up.
block 5
They
people.
could not understand something. They couldn't get to the rim because they were clogging the paint. It's not that
No,
they
were
didn't try to get to the
no.
rim.
They couldn't get to the paint. They couldn't get to the paint because, again, Julius Randle dribbled and held the ball more than any big in the NBA, and
Bro,
Jalen
that's not
Brunson
why. They
dribbled and
didn't
held the
get
ball
to the.
more than
They
anybody.
couldn't get to the paint because they weren't hitting threes, and so it allowed Miami to clog the paint. Miami said, "We're going to
No.
stay right in this paint because they're not hitting threes." Go watch
Miami
it again.
was able to stay.
And
no,
I'm
no, no,
telling
no.
you
We
right
can't,
now,
we can't just.
we still
no,
need
we
more.
can't just say
what's-
what we feel like, though.
I'm not
That's not a
saying
fact,
what we
though.
feel like. I'm saying what I saw and what I know
Okay,
that
so now
happened.
here's the question I have for you, though. Why were the Knicks dead last in the NBA in pick and rolls for the roll man in the entire season?
Hey, I'm not arguing that.
Listen,
Okay, I
and
get
that's-
that.
that's
But
your-
that
that's
is
your
not
point.
the only reason that they lost. And you know why? Because it goes back to player personnel, because Mitchell Robinson cannot shoot from the outside. So he has to stay in the dunker spot, which stops people from being able to roll to the basket. And because he can't hit a mid-range jump shot, when you only can use Mitchell Robinson in a pick and roll situation, he can't pick and pop. He can only go to the basket.
so
Now they clogged that.
okay.
That's one of the reasons
Okay.
why they were so
So can I
terrible,
ask you-
bro.
Okay,
in the
can
pick
I
and
ask you
roll.
two follow-up questions to that? Okay, so we already agreed that we were dead last. Let's blame it on Mitchell Robinson. We were dead last in pick and rolls for the roll man in the entire league.
It's part of the
We were
reason.
also dead last. We were also dead last in team assists and bottom of the league in touches.
Okay. I get it. I
Can I-
understand
can
it.
I-
But
can
they
I- can I
also
just say something
but they
real quick?
also had wide open shots throughout the season that they missed and wide open shots in the playoffs that they did
It's
not
not
make.
wide open shots
They
for
did.
those players, though.
What other players are you
Open-
doing
open
it
is
for?
open, bro.
Those are the
Open
players
is
we
open.
have, bro. Like who else you
then,
doing it
okay,
for?
then open is open from Mutombo then. Open is open from
That's
Mutombo.
just dumb. That's just dumb, bro. That's just dumb.
No, it's
We're
fact.
talking about the players that
Listen,
we have.
Listen,
That's why it
you're
goes
right.
back to
Open
personnel.
is open from Mutombo, and open is open from Mitchell Robinson. Did you see Mitchell Robinson behind the 3-point line?
And my point is,
understand what you're
RJ
trying
Barrett
to
is
say.
just as bad.
Okay. You're
RJ
bugging.
Barrett is
You're
just as
bugging.
bad
You're
a
bugging.
shooter. He's
You're
not that good
bugging.
a shooter.
Hey, you smoking too much Cali weed. You bugging.
Fab, okay, now here's the question I have for you, though. Do you know that RJ Barrett was one of our worst, maybe he was like ranked number 11, true shooting efficiency, right? We already know
Bro.
the defense was terrible.
Listen.
Plus minus
He's a
and
better
win series.
three-pointer. He's a better three-point shooter than Mitchell Robinson. Bottom line, you're talking about what you keep on saying is not for those players. But we don't have the other players that you're talking about. So that's
Then
why I'm
why
saying
are
it
you
goes
having
back to
them there? Why have them there?
where else you putting them?
Why have them?
You can't get
Play
you couldn't get to the
All
paint.
right, all right.
You couldn't get to the paint.
Let me just say something to you real quick, because you're naming some things that are true, but I think you're missing a lot of facts in your statements. You know we were top 10 in offense, right? You know how we were top 10 in offense?
We were top. Hold on, make sure we make it correct though. We were top 5 in offense, or like top 10 or whatever it is, because Jalen Brunson hit shots. Let's just make sure that's clear.
You want to know? You want to know why though? We still shot 3-pointers. We still shot a lot of 3-pointers, but we got offensive rebounds, and we made up for those missed shots with second opportunities. and we didn't turn the ball over.
Mr. Robinson ranked number 1 in contested offensive rebounds and number 2 in offensive rebounds overall. So that's Mitchell Robinson's job. We're not going to use that as the scale for everybody else. Like, RJ is not a good shooter.
I'm only talking about what our team did, though. You're right. We didn't shoot the ball well from 3. We got open shots from 3. But that's the way the league is. You got to put them up. It was encouraged.
Okay, I have a question for you, though.
Now you got to get the rebound.
No. Hold on. Y'all keep saying open shots,
bro,
right?
I'm giving you one more. I'm giving you one more minute, Lauren. One more minute.
I got you. You keep saying open shots, and I keep saying it's not open shots for those players specifically. If the road is open and you're blindfolded, is that an open road? If you're blindfolded and you're driving, is that still an open road? Or is there context to it? Just because RJ is standing by 3 and he's open doesn't mean it's an open shot for RJ. He's not a good shooter.
Bro, obviously.
What you're saying is wrong. Say it's not a good shot. Don't say it's not open.
But here's the thing.
I think that's where you're throwing me off.
But here's the thing. Right? That open road that you're blindfolded to, somehow you had to get to that open road. So whatever directions or maps you used to get to that open road got you there. Now, your dumb ass got to take off the blindfold. You dig what I'm saying? Take off the damn blindfold.
Nah, man.
Yeah.
I feel it, but
hey,
either
Lauren,
way, to go back to... Yeah,
I'm going to let you go, man.
I'll let y'all know.
I appreciate you.
Holla at me.
My man, Lauren. Anyway. Listen, people are going to find ways to try. Tom Thibodeau's not the best coach in the world. I mean, he's a good coach. He's a good coach. He hasn't won a championship yet, right? He's got faults, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. But I can't look at what's happening with Team USA and say, oh, look, this is how they're supposed to be playing this and that, because we don't have the same personnel.
See, I was trying to get my comment in early because we probably would have avoided a lot of this. Because I felt like the easiest thing to say was, is there some things that Thibodeau can pick up from this style of play? You know what I mean? From what he's seen. And I think absolutely. And I think Tibbs is a coach that is, as much as we call him a dinosaur, I think he's evolving continuously, even in his older age. And you know what I mean? Like he's already trended away from some of his tendencies. You know what I mean? Like there was no way that we thought he wasn't going to play a Derrick Rose, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't going to, you know what I mean? It was play the kids, and then he started playing the kids.
Right.
I mean, he's adapting. It may not be as fast as everybody wants, but the results are still there. Playoffs, 2 out of 3 years. You know what I mean? Continuously improving.
Right. The results are there. You know what I mean? And it's we'll see if they continue to be there. That's going to be the thing. Do they continue to be there? Does the team continue to evolve? And about what he was saying with Andre Iguodala, right? He said Andre Iguodala was an ISO player. He went to Golden State so that to change his style of play. When Andre Iguodala was 26 years old, he averaged 17 points for Philadelphia, 13 shots a game. Right? 27 years old, 14 points per game on 11 shots. Right? And then he, 28 years old, still in Philly, 12 points per game on 10 shots. Then Denver, 13 points per game on 11 shots. He didn't go to Golden State and all of a sudden become a guy that did not play ISO ball. This guy was shooting 10, 11 shots a game way before he went to Golden State. He went to Golden State at 30 years old, and his shooting went down a couple field goal attempts per game. That was already his style.
And he also stated, Iguodala, that was an adjustment for him. But it wasn't as big of an adjustment as you're making it seem like.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he had to deal. He played with AI. He had 1 year, maybe 2 years where he was the guy. You know what I mean? But the majority of his years, he was right beside AI.
Right.
You know what I mean? And still potentially on the come up.
Yeah. Anyway, are you looking at, Tony, what these guys are doing for Team USA and saying, well, they got to do that on the Knicks?
I mean, I feel like Josh Hart is already doing what he does.
Well, because Josh Hart is,
Yeah, but like you put him whatever team that he's gonna be doing the same thing.
Right.
Boom.
If Josh Hart goes and plays at Rucker Park, he's going to be doing the same thing. He's going to give you the same points and rebounds. You know what I'm saying?
As far as Brunson, I feel like this isn't just nothing new to him. You know what I mean? Coming from playing alongside Luka, having to play second fiddle or whatever. Like, I tell you this, I will 100% think that he's capable of having a normal Brunson output in these games if needed. You know what I mean? So I'm not looking at what they're doing here and saying judging it that much, because I don't think it's much different. I think if they need Brunson to give him 20 points, he's capable of doing it.
He's capable of no doubt about it. And he did it in maybe I think their second game. I think he had 21 points, something like that. 6 for 6 from the field, 21 points. You know what I mean?
6 shots.
Yeah.
Like 21 points,
right.
6 shots.
I mean, my biggest hope is that they come in shape and just in a competitive mentality. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe there are some things that obviously there's going to be some things that they learn. And like you said, maybe some things that Tom Thibodeau sees scheme-wise that he can take and apply it to the Knicks. You know what I mean?
True.
That's what I'm hoping for.
And a lot of the things that they learn, and it's gonna work both ways, but they're gonna pick up some tendencies of some of these other players, you know what I mean, that they're gonna have to face up against. So whether it's head to head with Brunson and Halliburton, you know what I mean, they both picking up little tendencies or habits from each other, playing alongside each other, or just a tip that's Brunson could give somebody, or Hart may have to guard Edwards, you know what I mean? So like those little nuggets that they're picking up. Yeah. And of course, the biggest thing for me is, man, I hope y'all in each other's ear and getting bonds with you know what I mean? Like Edwards may ask out at some point. We'll get, you know what I mean? We'll talk about it when it happens, but you know what I mean? I was looking at Ingram, but I don't know the attitude and the role thing that changes. But we needed to see that. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
If we didn't see that, I'd be still champion. Like, let's go get him.
Exactly. I seen somebody ask. I seen somebody. I think it was Bo Ishmael. I can't find it. But he said, I hope. He said he hopes that RJ and Brunson aren't tired after playing in FIBA. Are you concerned about that at all?
Nah, I'm looking at it traditionally from what we've seen over the years. Most guys that come back from FIBA have their best year, their best NBA season. So I'm actually hoping the opposite. Just that, like you said, they're in shape. Their mid-season form, especially for a guy like RJ, mid-season form coming into the season. You know what I mean? Right. So you know how RJ has that slow start. Right. I'm hoping this actually becomes a mid-season form for RJ coming into the season. Yeah. That would be a tremendous boost for us.
Yeah, they we need him to come back. We need him to come and start in mid-season form. You know what I mean? Knicks, a GM, said the bigger question is, why does Kerr not trust Brunson? I
think he didn't use him tonight, but that hasn't been the trend.
That hasn't been the trend, right?
And he's come out and spoken as positive about Brunson as anybody on that team.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
yeah, and then Joel said Kerr doesn't want Brunson and Hart building too much chemistry that could potentially carry over into the season. Do you think, as a coach that has coached AAU and high school, right? When I get players on my summer team from other schools, I don't think that way. I look at them as being part of my team, the team that I have right now. You know what I'm saying? Because, the team that I have right now is, like that's the priority. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to help them get better. You know what I'm saying?
And you want to win.
So, and I want to win. So I don't even think about it like, oh, I'm not going to teach her how to dribble, or I'm not going to teach her, how to shoot a jumper, because then she's going to use it against me in a regular season if I play against her team. I don't think about it like
I
that.
think it's the complete opposite. Just like I was saying about, what Brunson and Hart could be picking up tendencies. I think the coaches is doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna coach you like any other player.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to learn you as much and figure something out that I didn't know about you. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna help you. But it's gonna help me when I coach against you.
But when I coach
later on. So
right, it's gonna help
I
me.
want to know everything.
Yeah.
Flaws, strengths. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, I think, you want to build that bond as much as you can, but still use it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I might coach you down the line one day, or I might have to coach against you. So either way,
and that's what I was gonna say. Sometime down the line, and excuse my phone for ringing. Sometime down the line, you might be coaching that player. That player may end up on your team, or you get to know these players, and now when that player is a free agent and you need something, you're like, I like this guy. I'm saying, I coach this guy at Team US. I know what he can do, and I know how he can help us. Yeah, I don't think coaches thinking like that. I don't think they're thinking like that. We're gonna sabotage Brunson and Hart. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna sabotage them. I don't think so.
That's ultimately self-sabotage. I'll tell you one thing though. When he inserted Hart into the starting lineup, and then you get to see that Villanova connection again. You know what I mean? I think that opened, like, not just for Knicks fans. I think it's been a topic. You know what I mean? Like, oh, the chemistry's still there. They're still, you know what I mean? It's like they never left, and I'm sure he's utilizing that as well.
Right. I seen somebody ask, what is Julius Randle doing? I think Julius Randle is just rehabbing, man. There's been a couple of videos here and there that he's put out, and for the most part, he's just rehabbing, trying to come back healthy. And I'm glad to see that he's rehabbing, and it's been, rehabbing vigorously in some of the videos, because I was concerned, that he wasn't going to come back in the same shape that he normally does. I remember, not last season, but the season before, he didn't come back in the same shape. And we know how that season went. You know what I'm saying? The season before that, when he won his first All-NBA, he came into the season in superior shape. You know what I mean? Hopefully he's got the mindset now that I'm always going to be in superior shape. From some of the interviews that he's done, it seems like he's there, but he's got to do it. Can't just talk it. He's got to do it. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what, though, I have concern just about the whole situation, the situation as a whole of him coming back from an injury. I want him to be 100%. Don't want him to rush it, push it too much. Obviously, we got rid of Obi, so there's not a guy directly in his position to fill in.
Right.
And obviously we're replacing Obi with a smaller lineup in general. So, you know what I mean? If he isn't ready right away, you know what I mean? Or slow to, get back into 100% game form, you know what I mean? How detrimental could that be, knowing that we don't have a solid replacement at the starting four, let alone, the backup spot. You know what I mean? Like, so now, what do we do in that situation when Randle's missing a game in this situation? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, because
we're really gonna be small,
right? Given his knee, he could, there could be some days that he needs to rest this season. To make sure, just to make sure everything is everything is good with his knee. There could definitely be some days. I don't know which way that Tom Thibodeau's going to go. Maybe he goes a little smaller. Oh,
I mean, he has no choice, really.
he has no choice
Like,
unless
so,
he's.
I mean,
He has no choice unless he's going to go with Hartenstein. You know,
I think that's too risky because now you supplementing height in the second unit, or you know what I mean, at that center position. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, you still got Sims, so there's that. I would think it would be RJ moving up, and it's just gonna be a smaller unit with maybe quickly stepping in, or Dante
Probably.
stepping in, or
right?
you know what I mean,
Something
Hart
like that.
stepping in,
Yeah,
whatever.
something like that. You know, in that situation, he might go with Hart because Hart, you know, he gives you those rebounds. You know what I'm saying? RJ at the 4, Hart, you know, maybe playing the 3, but Hart can give you those rebounds. Hart might guard the 4, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would try to get. You know what I mean? It would have to be quickly. DiVincenzo for me, because I would supplement at least the shooting, because you know what I mean. Like, you bring Hart in, now you got Hart, RJ, and Mitch, 3 potential non-shooters.
Yeah, I mean, Hart can at least hit it though.
I mean, he doesn't minus Mitchell Robinson. They all can hit it.
He doesn't shoot at a high clip, but he does shoot a high percentage. He doesn't shoot it at a high clip. You know.
But it's also interesting to see if he had to, would he? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, if we asked him, hey, we're gonna need 5 from you tonight, or 5 from you nightly.
Yeah.
Could he do it, and could he still be efficient?
Physically, he can do it. I think it's the mind, the mindset. Can he click it over and say, "All right, I got to be in the mindset of a shooter right now." I don't know. It takes a little while, I think, for someone to get to that type of a mindset. If you're used to playing one style of basketball, I think probably takes a little while to get to that mindset to say, "All right, when I get it in my hands, I'm letting it go."
And I think it's easier if it's asked of you, and all right, well, now I got to work on this all off season,
right?
As opposed to, number one, just doing it on your own, and you know what I mean, without being encouraged to, because you made it where you made it by who you are anyway,
right?
You know what I mean? So
right. Yeah, I mean, listen, man, we're just a couple of weeks away from training camp. No, this is September the 1st. So we're looking at the end of the month. Training camp will begin. I'm expecting that Julius Randle is going to be ready for training camp. You know what I mean? I haven't heard anything otherwise. I'm expecting that he's going to be there. Are you concerned at all? Not just about him being in shape, but him being ready for training camp.
I just think there's more importance. He's probably more important now than ever before. You know what I mean? That's my only concern. Like, it's I think he's more than capable, but I just don't want any, not going with any setbacks or anything.
Right.
Like,
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Do you think he's going to be ready for training camp?
I think he's going to be ready. I think he's going to be ready. He had the surgery.
Yeah, he had surgery.
Very early,
right?
Like, you know what I mean. So there's no reason to think otherwise.
Right.
And we see in the workouts, you know what I mean. Like, I don't think he would. Like, we've seen the process, even if it's glimpses. He's shown the progression. So the next thing is him on the court. When we see that, you know what I mean. We'll know.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't expect there to be any kind of, any setbacks. We haven't heard anything about it, so I don't expect there to be any setbacks, anything like that. Ladies and gentlemen, just another reminder, real quick. Knicks versus Cavs, November the 1st, $155 per ticket. Great seats, sections 223, 224, 225, mid-court. You know what I mean? Get them now. Get them as soon as you can, because the end of September, that price is going to go up to $175. All right, so make sure you get those tickets right now. Missed out on the home opener, but we'll still be doing a watch party at Legends for the home opener. So, of course, you can join us there. I'm pretty sure that's going to be packed. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll be doing a watch party before the Cavs game. And after the Cavs game, we'll do a live show, summing up the game. You know what I mean? But, Tony, I really think that was it for today. I didn't have a whole lot to talk about unless you have some other things to talk about, or if anybody else has some things to talk about, just throw it in the chat. You can call in 516-362-5212. Anything you want to talk about, we good money. Let's talk about it.
Team Canada lost, so not only did Brunson have a bad game, and Hart and RJ continued that Nick trend of bad games today. I think he had like 3 points. I think 4 points. 1 for 5, I think, for the game. It wasn't his responsibility, but no defensive effort down the stretch. I think he could have stepped up and took a charge or contested or something with the game on the line. But it's not over for them. Canada's still in it. I would love to see a Canada-USA championship game. That would be dope.
Yeah, that would be dope. I think might be tough. I think everybody in Canada's group right now is 3-1. Right? Yeah, that might be tough. But you never know. We'll see what happens. I mean, obviously, Team USA is in a tougher bracket now, as you can see by today's game. It was a tough game. You know what I'm saying? Montenegro, they came out ready to hoop, and they thought they was pulling off that upset too.
And the next team is tougher.
Lithuania, right?
Lithuania, yeah, they tougher.
Yep, they play Sunday. I think forgot what time it is. It might be 8:30 in the morning, Eastern time.
Yes, yep.
8:30. Yeah, that's definitely a tough one. We got a caller on the line. Caller, name and where you're from, please.
Hey, what up, Sam Tony? This is Silk Sutton from Brooklyn.
Silk, what's popping with you, brother?
Peace, fam.
What's going on?
I'm good, man.
I call because I always was a Brandon Ingram fan.
Mm-hmm.
Watching him in this tournament, I'm starting to get nervous.
You're not the only one. We were just talking about that, man. I think a lot of people, including myself, because I've been a Brandon Ingram fan and really did champion him coming to the Knicks. And then now you look at what how things is going, man, and you got to question it. I
know, 2 points, 6 points, 8 points. I'm like, what's going on? Yeah. Maybe Tibbs is right. Maybe 6'8" guys. We need 6'6" guys. I don't know.
I mean, I think it's him getting used to just adjusting to having to play with so many other guys that can get it done. Because when you play with guys that can get it done, when things get tight, if you're not hitting, they're just gonna go to the next guy. But now, if you're one of 2 or 3 guys on your team that can get it done, even if you're not hitting, your teammates are going back to you, right? Because you're still the best option. But
they're relying on you.
They're relying on you. But when you have so many options, it's like, all right, well, you ain't hitting. We're going to go to Anthony Edwards or Brunson or Bridges or Jackson. You know what I'm saying? So for some players, that's a big adjustment.
To me, he's proving he's more about scoring than anything else. Like, because he didn't take that mindset, all right, let me find another niche on this team. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's the more scary part for me. You know what I mean? Because I think that's something that Tibbs preaches. You don't have to shoot well to play well. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, find a way to impact the game, to find a way to impact winning. So
right.
If his first thought is his role, which is probably his touches, his shot attempts,
gotta be.
Yeah, I'm trending away from that right now.
Right.
And the fact that Kerr replaced Hart for him because he wasn't getting a rebound from a 6'8" guy.
Right. I don't know if that's ever really been his game. You know what I'm
But
saying?
he should. He got the height.
You
He
know?
got the weight. He should be able to get bored.
Yeah,
It
but you know,
should,
the
though.
game is different. Kristaps Porzingis ain't really a rebounder. He's 7'1".
Yeah, but I thought Brandon Ingram was more physical than Kristaps. I thought.
And
Oh yeah, Sims, I gotta ask a question.
Yeah.
You've been watching some of the games, right? The announcers that been called in the United States game, are they American announcers or are they the European announcers?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Because
I don't know.
they said something about Austin Reeves. I'm like, if that was in America, I don't know how that would play. Do you know what they be calling Austin Reeves now? Because his number's 15.
What?
AR-15.
Oh, AR-15. Right. Yeah.
Come on, that wasn't playing in America with the AR guns and stuff.
AK-47. You remember what happened with AK-47? Yeah, you remember? Yeah, especially with AR-15. Right. You know what happened with AK-47? They came at Melo for doing 3 shots to the dome.
I know.
yeah,
Well,
they're gonna drop the 15.
I could say Austin 15, but come on, y'all doing the AR 15? I like this. Got to be European announcers. That can't be from America. American announcers would know better than them to run that line.
Yeah.
I mean, and you could also, if it's American, you could say it out there because they don't have gun issues. You know what I mean? Like we the only country with like gun issues, other than the countries that are actively at war.
Yeah.
Trust me, that would have happened on ESPN or something like that. They would have been getting critiques and stuff in the mail.
I mean, this game was on ESPN too, so I guess
Right.
they've been on. The games have been on
so.
ESPN2 and Fox Sports, right? Yeah.
I only saw it on ESPN too in the USA game. It's hard for me to find out where they be streaming the stuff from. So
Yeah. They move it around. But today's game or last night's game or however you want to call it, morning game, yeah, was on ESPN2. Yeah.
It seems like that's what they're doing now since their games are for real. ESPN2 is running the United States game, but the RJ games, I haven't trouble finding them. So
you're gonna have to. There's a couple of websites where you can rent, where you can pay for the streaming service. But here's the catch, because I was about to do it. It's like $20. I was gonna do it so I can watch the Canada games. I'm pretty sure there's some, other ways you can do it. But when I looked at all the, it showed all the games and if you would be able to watch it. And every time when it showed Canada versus whoever they were playing, it showed that it was only going to be, you'd only see it if you lived in Canada. And I was like, so with that, like, that's dumb.
I know. What's going on? I know.
You know what I'm saying?
People trying to make a little money off us.
Right. So yeah. But Silk, man, I appreciate your time, man.
All right, fellas. Have a good one.
Have a good one. Peace. Yeah, man. I was gonna try to I was gonna buy it and it said that. So I was like, forget it. Done with that. Forget it. There's a couple of probably a few little streaming services, you know what I mean? Bootleg streaming services.
820 New York Knicks says ESPN Plus got the rest of the games.
Canada as well? Or just the rest
so.
or just the rest of the US games?
No, like all of the games. Like ESPN2 is the American games, and then ESPN Plus
has all of them. Okay.
Has all the games.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Yeah, he said no blackouts on ESPN Plus. That's good. That's good because, I would like to be able to see one of the Canada games, straight up. You know what I mean? But I don't, So, I mean, what else is going on? It's really been quiet, man. It's just been so quiet making the off season. Even though I've been busy this summer, just making the Knicks off season long because it's been so quiet. You know what I mean? And just not a lot happening and going on besides Team USA.
I mean, what are your thoughts on the Dame Lillard, the James Harden situation? How much do you think that is actually stopping other moves from being made.
I think it is. I think it is. You know what I mean? It's been I think it's definitely stopping at least some moves from being made because teams don't want to, especially teams that may be involved or have a chance of being involved. They're like, well, I don't want to move any pieces or do anything yet until I figure out what's going on here because I could be involved. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that is holding some things up. I don't know if it's holding things up for the Knicks though.
I mean, it may just be a domino. You know what I mean? Something might shake loose.
Something could shake loose, right?
In the aftermath.
Right.
Harry Giles signed with the Nets 1-year deal. I was looking forward to, potentially taking a flyer out on him. I think he would have fit the Knicks culture as far as like one of those. They look for good people first before anything else. So
right.
I think he's a good kid. Had a lot of bad breaks in his life and injuries and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. East Blue Drew said, "How do you feel about Jalen Brunson and Anthony Edwards in the backcourt?" I'm gonna tell you what. I like Anthony Edwards. I think he's gonna be a superstar. I do. I think that kid is gonna be a superstar.
Super duper star.
Is he gonna stay in Minnesota? No. I don't think he's staying in Minnesota at all. He's too big for Minnesota. You know what I mean? I think he's going to be too big for Minnesota. And if the Knicks can get that kid, we doing something.
You talk about star we need, like
we doing something, man.
I don't even want to get into it. I'll say it off
right,
bro.
Right.
He got the charisma. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He got the smile. He got the energy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then the game is
everything.
Just top tier too.
He's got a little bit of edge with him. Everything, man. Everything. Yeah. I like Anthony Edwards. And I hope that one day he becomes a Knick. You know what I mean? I hope he becomes a Knick one day. And if that means RJ's got to be excommunicated, then that's what we got to do. I like RJ. I'm just saying, but I think Anthony Edwards is going to be way better than RJ Barrett.
I mean, I don't even think it's a question.
Yeah. I would love for that kid to be a Knick. When is his contract even up?
He's on an extension. I know that.
On an extension?
Yeah, he gonna have to ask out.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Jalen Brunson might be putting something in his ear. Josh Hart putting something in his ear, like, you don't want that. It's cold in New York, but it ain't like Minnesota. You know what I mean?
Hey, bright lights, man. That's the reason to come. The bright lights, you're gonna have all the lights on you. All the headlines, you know what I mean? All the advertisements. Like make up for the money you spent paying in New York state tax. You get that back in endorsements easy.
Julius Caesar just said he extended for 5 and 260. So, you
gotta wait 4 years. when he in that last year, that's pretty much when you gotta make that move.
Yeah, no doubt. I did want to really, I don't know, I guess just briefly mention it. You know what I mean? Because the Knicks name comes up in any superstar that leaves the door open to leaving their current team, the Knicks get mentioned. But Giannis, I guess, left the door open that he could, leave Milwaukee someday. You know what I mean? Obviously, if Giannis were to leave Milwaukee or say that he wanted out of Milwaukee, I'm pretty sure the Knicks would be ready to throw whatever at him.
Yeah.
And Greece, by the way, is in the Knicks. Team USA's current group, but I don't think Giannis isn't playing.
No, he's not. He's not.
His brother's playing, but Giannis isn't playing.
Yeah, I spoke about it the other day. It was a report that, he almost re-signed with the Knicks this offseason, which, in my opinion, was them already being in their bag trying to get, you know what I mean?
Who, the Nassers?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
Nassers?
he almost re-signed with us.
Mm.
He said, but ultimately playing next to his brother again was, you know what I mean? And he loves Milwaukee, but was the determining factor. But I'm like, yeah, the Knicks was trying to be sneaky, you know, put their hand in the cookie jar
Right.
early.
Early, you know what I'm saying? Hey, yo,
But I think
Giannis,
that's
you
what they
need to
brought
come
him
on
in
over here.
originally for. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that's exactly what they brought him in for originally.
So it was like, all right, let's do round 2.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, if Giannis is available, then the Knicks got to go all in to get him. That's just that.
I agree.
If he ever becomes available, you just got to go get him.
I had asked Josh, well, two questions. If you could get Embiid now, and you know you could get Giannis next year, but you got to pick one. Do you get Embiid now, or do you wait till next year and get Giannis?
I wait till next year and get Giannis. If I know that I can get Giannis, I know that he's coming.
Let's say I'm gonna say it's 100% with Embiid and it's 90% with Giannis.
I've been watching a lot of Drink Champs and took that from Nori. That's a tough one. I don't know.
See, I mean, the fact that you said you would wait for Giannis with it both at 100 it answered my second question, because if it was equal terms, who would you pick? But I'm also gonna say no injury, like 100% healthy, that's guaranteed. Would you still pick Giannis? Because
I'm still going with Giannis.
I'm picking Embiid.
Yeah.
And the only reason I say that is I feel like if we could get Embiid in here, we could still have Embiid, Randle, Brunson. I feel like if we bring in Giannis here, I don't think Giannis and Randle necessarily work together, or
nah,
at least not as good. I think but you're probably moving Randle, which means you still got to get another piece. You know what I mean? Like, you're still gonna have to find some type of. But I could see Randle and Brunson, and I think we're a lot closer to a finished product. So that was my only like reason why I pick Embiid over Giannis. But when you start talking about injury and everything, I'm going with Giannis, because that injury concern, albeit just off of MVP and everything, and injuries happen. You know, anybody could get injured, but he got injury histories.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, and Giannis has really been,
durable.
Pretty durable with the injuries. I still believe that one day he's going to develop a competent jump shot. You know what I'm saying? So, I think he could. Right. Don Devo 77 said Giannis plays center too. He developed a competent jump shot. He can go from the 1 to the 5, playing the 1 through the 5.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah, he's gonna be 30 years old next December 2024. So he'll be 29 years old this year.
Yeah.
And 30
in 2024. Be 30 this year.
Right. I mean, that's not old, but you're starting on that down. You're starting on that downhill motion.
It's a year difference in age, but I don't know. It's also, I mean, there's no truth to it. It's all theoretical. But Embiid didn't play 2 whole years.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean? So that's
true.
2 less years of mileage,
right,
on the body,
right.
You know what I mean?
Right. No doubt about it.
Yeah, I think if it's this year or next year and we could get Embiid now, I'm going with him. I'm going with him now. I'm just because we haven't had a center that could legitimately stretch the floor,
right?
And I think that just changes,
right?
That's something we haven't seen. So it's all imaginary. Like, how good can we be if the paint is open?
Yeah.
But,
well, Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna hop up out of here, man. Appreciate you guys jumping on. Hopefully, you had some good entertainment when Lauren called in. You know what I mean? I always know when Lauren calls in, there's gonna be, we're gonna talk about something. Something's gonna go down when Lauren calls in. You know what I mean? But it was a good conversation, a fun conversation. But yeah, we're gonna be back full force, man. It's September. Time to ramp it up for training camp. You know what I mean? Time to get it going. Again, one more time, make sure you get those Knicks versus Cavs tickets for November 1st, $155 per ticket. Really good seats. Section 223, 224, 225. You're not going to find it cheaper. Pretty sure of that. So make sure you get those tickets now, because the end of this month, the price is going to go up to $175. So you want to knock those out the box right now.
And the cookout, October 7th.
October 7th. Yep. Registration for that is going to be out probably tomorrow. So keep that in your mental Rolodex. October 7th, Coxsackie, New York. NBK opening season kickoff cookout. It's going to be dope, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be dope. Tony, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
If you haven't checked out my last show, I got a new series called One on One. I had Josh as my first guest. We talked about the whole Giannis and Embiid thing. We talked about got his takes on all things that was going on with the Knicks in the offseason, because he's he had a little hiatus. So but it was a good show, man. Check it out. And that's it, man. See y'all Monday, Knicks and Bruises.
No. Ladies and gentlemen,
Blackest Time.
I'm out of here. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.